Now it's time to start. Okay, guys, we are live. This is the Bitcoin Basics and Beyond, and we're going to talk. Hey, Kurt, anybody that, when you guys pile in the room, tell us where you're from, say hello. I'm Jake Robinson. I'm in a place called Rockville, Tennessee, right outside of Murfreesboro, and which is outside of Nashville, Tennessee. And I've got my friend with me, James Confucius Finn. He's got you look at him, man. He looks like he's a kung fu master. So anyway, out in Vegas. We go way back when we were both in your entrepreneurial meetup group that you started. That's how I met you, and you've done a bunch of different things. Real quickly, tell us a little bit about what your experience is in the entrepreneurial world.
Oh, that's a loaded question. Let's see how to keep it as simple and short as possible. Okay, so
Kurt, Kurt says your hair rocks, by the way.
Thank you. I initially started off doing like Google AdWords and stuff and just creating websites and driving traffic and getting into internet marketing. And then is my audio coming in good?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I started doing AdWords, just Google traffic, SEO, all that stuff. Got decent at that. Got decent at creating websites because I was making websites on the fly and just kind of learned how to make websites while I was doing all the marketing. Eventually got into apps, making like web apps and stuff. And so I made a couple web apps there, like an employee scheduling app. Just spent a few years trying to do that route. And then, man, it's a long journey. Went from that. Always had e-commerce sites all along too. So along with ad revenue and driven websites, I was making e-commerce websites, drop shipping websites. Eventually, I stumbled onto FBA, Amazon FBA, and doing private label. Did that, launched an app as well related to Amazon FBA sellers. And then fell into crypto probably about a year ago, but not hardcore trading in crypto for about 5 or 6 months. So,
okay, and you still have your app for Amazon. It's to help people get reviews. You send out emails to verified buyers and encourage them to do that. In fact, I've bumped into a lot of people that was in the Amazon world because I was in private label FBA. And in fact, I've spent about a year interviewing people, kind of like we're doing right now, to learn more about it. And it gave me a front row seat to some experts. And a lot of those same people are now in crypto. I got a good friend, Saj Galani, out of the UK. And that dude is rocking it too in Bitcoin world. But right now, Bitcoin is taking a hard turn, and it's also hard for people to take that turn. I'm gonna see if I can go over here and bring up TradingView. I'll share my screen if I can, and we can just take a look at what's going on. But Bitcoin went up to almost 20,000 a Bitcoin, and everybody. It went from, I guess it started in the beginning of December is at 1,000, and it ended at like almost 20,000. So in 1 month, it went crazy. Or was it November that it started at 1,000? I don't remember the numbers. Do you?
I want to say November. It was about 1,000, 1,600 or somewhere around there. I think when it hit November, it was more like sixes, 5 to 6s, because it had a few retraces in. I want to say
Right.
November, but it was all under $2,000 until it hit about mid-November, late November, and then it started just when it hit 4 and 5, it did a big retrace pullback, and then I mean it was lights out after like 8. Like anything after 6, 7, 8, like I don't even recall anything.
I'm sharing my screen right now. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So that is a chart of Bitcoin right now. That's on a 6-hour chart. So each of these candles represents 6 hours of trading. And I'm going to go back out to and go on a daily candle. So I'm going to spread that out a little bit, scrunch it down, get out of the way there. You got to manipulate the chart here to make it look right. All right, so that gives you an idea. This was, let's go back here. This was like November. Here's November 1st right there. So it looks like it's at nowhere at November 1st, but that was at 7,000. Is that crazy?
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, it looks like it's nowhere at 7,000. So if you go on back down and stretch it out, let's see. This is July. That's the bit. I mean, it's just like you can't even see it. And even at July, that's yeah, I can't see what that is there. Is that, I can't tell, is it 1100 or something like that? But this is when I got interested, was in August, because a friend of mine said, hey, did you know Bitcoin was at 2,400? I said, heck no, because the last time I checked it, it was at 200. So you can see the run up. So let's move that up there. But from the market high, which is right here, right around 19,000, it's come back down, and now right now it's trading at 11,000. So that's an, you know, $8,000, $7,400 retracement, and you can see it's kind of gaining support right there. But a lot of people probably bought their Bitcoin somewhere up in here. You know, all these people that you heard run into Coinbase to get their accounts open wound up, you know, as soon as they got their account open. I had a buddy of mine that he knew he wanted to.
That's being the BTC, but it's pretty much the same thing. Everything's.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. That's stupid of me. Yeah, we're looking at another coin, guys. That's not it. I wondered why that looked off there, but let's see. We'll go to. I was looking at here's Bitcoin, coin-based US dollar. Okay. See, it looks. Okay, how in the hell do you turn that off? That's ideas. Okay. Looks very similar though, right? The same chart pattern, really. So I'm going to turn the volume off so it doesn't clutter the page. So if we go back here, get this thing out of the way. All right, let's see where this is. So in July right there, I need to highlight that. In July, the price was around, what was that? There's well, I can't, it's not even registering. That can't be right. Is that, oh, that's 2016. Okay, let's move on up here to, okay, so there's January. It was at $308. And then March, it was at $250. And then that's 427. So that's June, July, and this is right before the. So right here, about right here is where they start talking about doing a fork, and that's trading around $700, right? Wait a minute. Oh, I gotta get my thing. Let's go back here. Okay, here we go. Beginning of March, it was 1,000, and then as we move up the chart here, it peaked at 2,700, and then we had the fork top coming, and so some people got out. I stayed in it all the way through, and then right around there, August, somewhere in that neighborhood, $2,700, and then it just went crazy. And so let's go up here and look at the peak. So the peak was 19,721, somewhere in that neighborhood. And it's been down as low as 9,041. So that's a $10,000 difference. So let me go check over here. Oh, by the way, guys, if you guys have questions about anything, just pop your question in there. Kurt's from West Tennessee. Hey, Kurt. Brian, Ed's in the room. Ed pointed out that's the wrong chart. Okay, thanks for that. Wrong chart. Okay, you trying to get my attention? Hey, Mark. That must be Mark Zoo. He's one of our guys in the Slack room. Ollie, good evening. How you doing, brother? Where you from? Yeah, we do a little bit of ICO investing, but it's getting harder and harder. Ollie, are you in the U.S.? Because here's what we're finding. If you guys are in the U.S. and you're trying to do ICO, very few are ICOs that are compliant with U.S. regulations. So most ICOs just say, screw the U.S. We're not going to do that. So that's the problem that we have right there is we can't really participate in ICOs unless they specifically decide to sign up for the U.S. And even then, you might not be able to do it because might not be an accredited investor. Does everybody know what an accredited investor is? Oh, you used to be in the Amazon group. Oh, okay, cool. You're an American citizen. Okay, I just wondering if have you participated in any ICOs, James?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. I'm looking at them. There's a good source for information. Well, I don't know if it's a good source or not. I may have changed my mind because what was that? What was that ICO just recently that had they had a problem? I think they ran off with all their coins. Do you know about that one?
I have
Yeah.
no idea.
Let me see if I can Google that real quick because they were an ICO, and the problem was they were ranked very high.
BitConnect?
No, that was an out and out scam from day one. I knew that was a Ponzi scheme. Well, let me see if it pops up here. But let's see. Yeah, maybe it was Confido, ICO, exit scam, founders disappear with 375,000. I don't know if that was the one. Anyway, you hear about this stuff all the time. An ICO was running down the road, doing their thing, and then all of a sudden they just left and took all the coins with them, and everything just kind of shut down, left all the people holding the bag, and it was rated on ICObench.com. ICO Bench is a website that they actually look at all the ICOs out there and they rate them. Let me bring that up, and we'll take a look at it. Okay, let's see. I'm going to share. Okay, so you go to this place and they rate these things. So let's take a look at what we got going on in the ICO world. All right, so see this rating on the side over here, the green boxes, 4.2, 4.3, 4.0. There's a 3.4. So what they do is they come through here and tell you this is when it's going to start. This is when the ICO is going to end. This is the rating that they earn. If we look at the rating, let's take a look at this WePower. Don't know anything about it. All right, so 71 experts gave it an overall 4.2 ranking. They got a 5.0 for their profile, 4.3 for the team, 4.2 for the vision, and 4.0 for the product. So they'll tell you when it starts, what platform it's on, how much capital they've raised, whitelist, KYC and whitelist. It is in the US, restricted areas, USA. Okay, so that means guess what? We can't buy it. So even no matter how great it might be, we can't buy this thing. But this is a good website to check that stuff out and look at what's coming along. Now we can do this by region though. If we go over here and do let's see, we're going to do that. If we go to country and we put in USA, then we can at least look at the ones that are rated for the USA. Oh, yeah, we got 3 of them. And one of them's a 1.8. I want to get a load of that stuff, right? It's 1,000 times cheaper than that's their selling price. It's 1,000 times cheaper than Bitcoin or Ethereum. That's crazy. Anyway, aren't you gonna laugh at that, James? I thought that was funny.
Oh, no, I had to turn my mic off. I was
Oh, okay, gotcha. So anyway, yeah. So that particular website had rated this ICO like 4.4 or something. I mean, that's getting pretty close to as high as you can get. And then these guys absconded with money, so it kind of gave ICO Bench a black eye. Okay, let's see what you guys are in there talking about. Um, Kurt plays with some aughts, but no ICOs. Okay, Brian's in Middle Tennessee. Well, all these people in Tennessee, cool. Jason, is Tether a concern, especially the rapid increase in supply? I'm not sure. There has been a concern out there. Have you heard the scuttlebutt about Tether and whether it's for real or not?
yeah. I think this bear cycle will be okay. The next bear cycle will probably be okay. The next one after that might not be so okay because at that point the market cap should be over 1.5 trillion or something crazy like that. And at that point, I don't think you can just print money like that. It would be a little concerning. But
Well,
me personally, I'm in USD on GDAX, so I don't. Just depends on how long. I mean, if I'm just sitting in US Tether for like a few hours, it wouldn't matter to me. But if I'm sitting back, like when it's a full bear market, I'm just sitting back for weeks or days. I'm in USD right now. I'm holding the USD coin.
the Fed coin.
Right.
So here's the thing about Tether. There was some news today, though, that might give it some support. That let's see. I'm not seeing the news. The update basically said that the CEO or the top guy from Tether and the Bitfinex guy, they brought some people in and they actually showed them their assets, their bank accounts, and evidently they had almost $3 billion of Tether that was backed by U.S. dollars. They had 1.8 billion in Bitfinex and 1.1 billion in the other and Tether itself, and showed that yeah, we've got 3 billion in U.S. dollars because that's always okay. James left the room. I guess he probably lost his connection. So anyway, Tether in that respect, I don't think it's really a concern because when you look at the, it's the whole idea behind Tether as far as their pricing goes is they wanted to keep Tether tethered to the dollar. And by doing that, they could basically use Tether kind of like the U.S. dollar as a substitute. And maybe, and guys, I'm going here to see if I can find it. Let's see. Ripple and USD. I want to go with BTC though. Let's take a look at that. XRP, Bitcoin. Okay, I'm gonna show you XRP and Bitcoin. No, I don't want to show you that. I want to show you XRP with a dollar. Give me a second, guys. And I'm assuming James is going to come back in the room.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you left the room for a second there.
Yeah, I pressed the back button on accident. I got this new laptop and it's real sensitive on the press the wrong button on there.
All right, I'm just going to show XRP versus the dollar. It's on Kraken. Wow, that's high on the dollar. It's $1.30. That's on up there. When you look at strictly Tether, generally speaking, it was hanging around right at $1.04, maybe 97 cents. But maybe because this is on Kraken, Kraken has they're known for having inflated prices. I'm trying to find Ether, Kraken. Heck, I can't find what I'm looking for. So anyway, I think Tether might be a decent place to go hide out if you don't have the ability to go to GDAX and get in cash. However, I don't have a lot. I'm on Binance right now. That's where I'm doing my trading, and I don't. I never did share the screen though. Yeah, there wasn't anything to show you guys. It wasn't the right. Wasn't the right. Wasn't the right chart I was looking for. But mainly right now Tether is not. But I think James was right. I think right now Tether is okay to use for in and out. Like if you just wanted to park your money for a couple days or a week or so, it's probably okay. But would I buy it and hold it for long term? Heck no. But I would use it as a flight to safety if I'm trading my money and then the market goes crazy. Yeah, I'd probably um, I'd probably do that. So we invited Tom to come into the room. I don't know why he didn't come in. I sent him an email or an invite to come on. We Power, something I'm interested in. Why is that? Why is We Power something good? Plan to invest 10K into it? Holy cow. Have you been watching that, Ollie, or did you just see me pull that up? Happened to be the only example I pulled up on ICO bench. Let's see. VPNs are interesting things. So what would you do with a VPN besides maybe sign up to an exchange like BitMEX? Are you familiar with BitMEX? That is an exchange that you can buy futures and options on Bitcoin, and I don't know if they've got others or not. I have an account with them, but I'm not ready to start trading futures and options yet. I'm studying that. Okay. Hey, Sarge, you want to come in the room, brother? I sent you a link. You're welcome to come in. Let's look at your email. Kurt says XRP is the devil. That's because why a lot of these crypto guys are down on XRP, James?
That just means I'm gonna go into XRP.
I'll tell you why they're down on though, because they're not like a true crypto. They're not necessarily decentralized, and they've got like 100 billion of of circulation, but only 37 billion is in circulation. The other 63 billion has already been mined, and that 63 billion is held by the founders of XRP. So they're like the Federal Reserve. They've got all this coins they could flood the market with at any time. And so that's a lot of the crypto guys are like, yeah, but it's centralized in a way like banks can control the network to a certain extent. It works great for banks. It's a great system for banks to be able to send money back and forth around international waters and and cut their costs. Okay, so Kurt says he hates it too. We had to take 5 showers afterwards. uh, Somebody made some money on the XRP. Brian did. I've actually got XRP right now. I guess I'm not a maximalist. I'm not a truist. I love the blockchain, and I think it is gonna revolutionize the world. But let the banks have their fun before they go downhill, before they go out of business. You know, let them save some money along the way while we make money on them, and then we can finally pull out and let those guys die on the vine. Okay. Should have sold in December, only 300% gains. Tom didn't work for some reason. Do you have Tom, do you have a mic and a camera? I'm gonna, uh, are you on Messenger with Tom?
Slack, yeah,
Oh, okay. I was gonna give him just maybe, I'm gonna see if I can find another link. Direct to live room. Here we go. All right, I'm just gonna put it in Slack. So, Tom, I'm gonna send you, um, and I'm not seeing you in here. Where'd you go? Anyway, check those questions out and see if there's any questions in there. There's Tom right there. All right, try that link, Tom, and see if that works. That's a live link, direct link to get in the room. Okay, Ollie, what's that spreadsheet about? Yeah, Ollie's saying VPNs will also allow you to participate in, oh crap, I didn't mean to do that. Participate in the ICO. And so, you know, there, yes and no. I mean, technically speaking, here's something I did. I went on to ICO Bench and I found a ICO that was about to launch in a couple, 2 or 3 days from when I was looking at it. And what was interesting was this thing was rated like 4.8. I'm like, crap. And I started reading up on it, and it was in the medical field. And it's like, yeah, maybe I should get in on this stuff. So I signed up for it. And then they said, oh, you're a U.S. citizen. You need to verify that you're an accredited investor, which accredited investor means you got to be making either over 200,000 a year in income, or you got a net worth like $2 million or something like that. So I just checked, yes, I am. And and then they said, well, show us some, you're supposed to show proof. I didn't submit any proof. I just mailed it. I just hit yes, yes, and submitted it. And guess what? They said, oh, you're ready to purchase, sir. You can purchase an ICO right now. And then when I went in to put my money in there, I made a mistake on how much I was going to try to purchase, and the numbers didn't add up. And I tried to go back and change it. And guess what? I couldn't cancel the order. I hadn't actually sent my payment in. The way they wanted you to send the payment is that, okay, here's an address, send the money to us, or send your coins to us. And once you do that, then take a snapshot of the blockchain and email and upload it to this on this link right here, and then that'll prove to us that you purchased, and then we'll send you the coins. So I checked the thing that I was going to purchase the coins, and I told them how much I was going to purchase. And when I got ready to submit it, I realized I didn't have enough money in my account. I was short about $9, and I went back and was going to back out of it and just get $9 less worth of coins. Instead of buying 4,000 coins, I was going to buy 3,800 and some change. But it wouldn't let me do that, and I'm like, what? You mean I can't cancel this? I can't upload a new order? I'm thinking, if these guys are blockchain and they can't even have a website that can handle a mistake like that, it was very primitive. So I backed out. I got cold feet on that deal just because, okay, maybe blockchain is maybe building a little website where they can take your coins is elementary, or it's beneath them to do that. I just couldn't get behind that deal. Okay. So it's been on your list for a few weeks, Ollie. Okay, we'll go to that ICO bench and see what they say about it. Yeah, the thing about VPNs is you can mask. The one I use is VPN dot or hide.me, hide.me. You can go there and set you up an account, and yes, you can absolutely camouflage your tracks, and they can't tell where you're coming from. And I actually signed up for a BitMEX account that way, which is a futures and options platform. But I don't know that I could, if I'd go that far with an ICO, because a lot of times, even if you have that VPN, you still have to have like an address, and you may have to prove your address. Even if you're in Europe, you have to show that you have an address, and and usually they want something like utility bills or things of that nature. So I don't know if you can get away with that. Or it may be like this one I just looked at, that they don't give a crap. They have to do it because that's what the rules say. But if you just go ahead and click your crap and send it in, and you're willing to give them money, maybe they'll just take your money and let it fly. Because are they really worried that the U.S. government is going to come somewhere, wherever they're at, and look at their books? I don't think they're going to do that. So maybe they're just trying to be nice. So Brian says, I tried to get on EOS ICO with VPN, no dice. That's what I thought. Is that what happened, Brian? Did they, even though you had a VPN, did they still need information that you couldn't provide, proof of identity? I'm betting that's what it was. Okay. One of XRP's newest board members is responsible for New York City's crypto laws. The dude that wrote the bit license for New York City, if you guys don't know, in New York, they decided they were going to have a license. If you're going to do any kind of Bitcoin business, you had to apply and get a license. And they made it very onerous for a company to come into existence there for that. And it really got to the point where nobody does business in New York anymore. But the guy that wrote the law retired, or he resigned, and then started a consulting company to hold the hands of these crypto companies on how to go through those stupid ass laws that he just put on the books. And so he's like guiding them through the process, and it's so onerous that you have to have somebody that wrote the law to show you how to actually comply with them and get it through them. So most of the time, crypto companies just say, "Screw you, New York. Even if we can do U.S., we're not doing you guys." Okay, all right. So, all right, guys, let's get this conversation going. Give us some idea about what's happened to you in the trading in this run up. I mean, you had a good run and you got caught up in the bear market too. What happened, James?
Okay. Yeah, I went from, in 1 month I did 58 multiples. So I went from 2,000 to I think 117,000.
Something happened to your audio.
Oh, am I still good?
Yeah, but it just went down all of a sudden.
Oh, I don't know. It might be internet connection. Is it coming in good now?
It's not as loud. I mean, I can understand you, but it's just like you turned it down.
Let me see.
Or maybe I turned my volume down over here.
Double check something.
All right, now maybe it was me. I may have clicked on the volume accidentally. Go ahead.
All right, cool. So
yeah, they can hear you. Hey, Hank.
So yeah, I went from roughly about 2,000 to 117,000 in a month. I don't even know what the percentage is. I'd say I did the 58 multiple. I have my own type of trading. A lot of people call it day trading, swing trading. There's just so many different types of trading and stuff. And really, you can't define crypto in certain ways because it doesn't match certain financial assets like stocks and everything else. So I call it breakout trading. Anyway, so I did breakout trading for about a month. Went from 117, I pulled 25,000 out and back into my bank account. So every time I hit a milestone, such as like 100,000, my next milestone will be, I believe 200 or 300,000, which I should probably be hitting hopefully in the first week of February. It just depends on what this bear market does. And then I'll proceed to pull out probably about 100,000. Then I'll flip that. My bankroll at that point should be about 150 or somewhere around there. Shouldn't take too long to flip 150 back to maybe a half a mil. Take out maybe 200 there, go from 300 back to a mil, and then that should probably be the end of the cycle for that bull market. And then it'll probably die down, go into a bear. I'll pull everything back into fiat, wait to the bottom, buy more coins, and just have a crap load of money in the bank account and cash money.
Okay, here's a question that's on everybody's mind. How do you know you're going to do that? How do you know you're going to go from 100 to 300? What are you doing to get that to get those kind of returns?
Yeah, well, I know I'm gonna do that because I already did 2,000 to 117,000. So
you went to what, 2,000 to 117,000 over what time frame?
In 1 month. So I have cash money to show for it. I have a $3,000 computer in front of me right now. I mean, I just spent like another few grand on like 5K monitors like that. It's a lot of money to be made. So it's real cash money. It's not a fairy tale. I think a lot of people think crypto. When I tell them, I'm just like, yo, I'm making a lot of money on crypto, and they're just like, oh, okay. They think it's just like fairy tale, but I'm like, no. But anyways, to fast forward, yeah, I got. The funny thing is, I called the bear market out before it even happened because there was signals for it and just all kinds of things going on. Called it out, and then just self-discipline and stuff. It couldn't. I got caught in it. Was trying to still pull profits. Didn't realize it was going bear at the time. until about a week later, after about losing like 20 grand or something. I was like, yeah, I'm in a bear market. So it's lasted probably about what, 2, 4, 5 weeks so far.
Yeah, it's been about 5 weeks. When you say you saw clues that the bear was coming, what did you see that told you that before it happened?
Yeah, so we had a cool conversation back in early December when Bitcoin hit 8,000 and then proceeded to 9,000 and then proceeded to 10,000 and then 12,000 and then it was a blur from there. Right about at 8 was when my mind went, yeah, this glass, this is, if you, I call it a glass house, a glass top floor. So if you imagine a skyscraper and you imagine the first 2/3 of the building is made of steel and concrete and strong support and foundation. And then the rest of the building, every floor on up is made out of complete pure glass. That means that once something shatters, that all those floors in that building is going to shatter back down into the initial 2/3 of the building that's made of concrete and steel. So, anyways, that's what's happening now. I knew that was going to happen. The RSIs were hitting all topping out. It was all oversold. Just just mental mistakes, mostly discipline. But I mean, I still have the 25K in my bank account, and I also have like 30 as a bankroll. So starting over from 30 and catching right at the beginning of this next bull cycle should. I'm looking at a 700,000 target, but who knows? I may break a mil.
Okay, so now we get into trading discipline and theory. Are you still doing 100% of your bankroll into every trade you do?
Yeah, it depends on what it is, but yeah, that's what I believe in. Speaking with different .com traders that's been in the .com era and went through the whole initial euphoria to the bubble collapsing and all that stuff, if they could take a time machine back, I always try to put the analogy like this to make people understand it easier, is that if you could go back to the .com bubble, right, and let's just say, I don't know the exact dates on it, but let's just say May 1999 was the day that was a massive layoff day or something. It was the first domino, right? So if you if you had a time machine to go back into time and go back into 1998 up until May 1999, right? Most people would take a time machine, pull out everything they could, take out a mortgage loan, all the credit cards they could, and step on the gas.
Whoa, you got to be kidding me.
Huh?
No, go ahead. Do you hear me?
Oh, yeah. And they'd step on the gas all the way and milk that .com euphoria days up until May 1999. Probably about March, they'll pull all their money out, sit back, and live in riches. I think the main thing is that with people is that when they think of bubbles, all they think about is the end. And so they think, oh man, you're going to have $0 at the end. It's not what you do at the end. It's about what you do from now until the bubble collapses. So let's say crypto game is a bubble, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a bubble. It doesn't matter if it's a bubble in a year. It doesn't matter if it collapses $90,000. What matters is the $25,000 cash that I pulled out 2 weeks ago that's in my bank account. What matters is the other $100,000 cash that I'm gonna pull out 2 weeks from now, the other $200,000 cash that I pulled out 4 weeks from now, and I continue on. And so it doesn't really matter what bankroll that I'm playing or I have money in the exchange at that point, because even if it does crash, I have cash money fiat in the bank. So
so you are going to pull some of your money out then?
Oh yeah, not or I have. Yes, that's what you do. Every .com trader that I've talked to, they all say the same thing. It's not, the game isn't about how many Bitcoins you have at the end of the day. The game is how much profits you pull out during the ride up. Yeah, because the market's going to eventually go bear. It's going to saturate, and it's not going to go bear, but it's going to saturate and it's going to stabilize into a regular financial asset market. But until that point happens, you got to press on the gas. And so with all that said, returning back to when you said 100%, It just depends on what the trades are. If I know it's a breakout coin and my calls are probably about 90% so far, if I'll go 100% in on a coin and sit until it breaks out.
Um, I did an interesting. I'm gonna see if I can pull this up here. I did a spreadsheet on because I was trying to figure out what you were doing and how I could do it a little less risky and still pull out some money. So what I came up with, me and my buddy came up with is if okay, we start with $10,000, and at any given time we only have half of our investment in the market, and so if you take $10,000 and you invest it and you make 4% on it, and you did this every day, so at the end of the first day you'd have 10,400. At that point, you take half of it plus the gains are 5,400, and you leave that in the market, and you take the other 5,000 and just stick it in the bank. And then the next day you make 4% on the 5,400, which gives you 5616, and then you add that to your your 5,000. That means you got a total of 11,016. So you take half of that, which would be 5,508, and go back in the market. So it doesn't sound like much, and you do 4% the next day. And here's what the numbers run. In 100 days, you'd have $39,000. And let's see, 150 days, you'd have $100,000. And at the end of 200 days, you have 283,000. And I'm just going to run it on out here. It takes you 264 days to hit $1 million. And that's not counting the money that you stuck in the bank. So you got $1 million in the market. Guess how much you'd have in the bank, James? Just a game.
Hopefully you have $1 million, because that's what I plan on doing. I'm not going to trade $1 million.
No. Keep in mind what I'm doing. I'm taking half of the money that I'm making, and every time I'm taking half of it, putting it in the bank. So I got $1 million still in the market because that money's in the market making money. The other money's sitting in the bank not making any money. How much would you have in there on top of the $1 million?
I have no idea.
$986,000. And I'm like, how can that be? I'm only making money on half of the stake. So in 100 days or 264 days, you really got like $2 million. No, I'm wrong. It's $1,026,000. It's actually more money than you kept in the market. I don't understand it. We went through this spreadsheet backwards and forwards and calculated by hand. And it just doesn't make sense. It's crazy. If you just make 4% a day, at the end of 365 days, you'd have 7 million in the market and 7 million in the bank account. You'd have $14 million.
The only thing with that strategy,
yeah,
which is the exact strategy I'm using, is that you have to have some balls of steel, and you have to have extreme uber confidence in your breakout coins. Because you're not going to make your 4% sitting around putting them in different baskets and eggs and Easter eggs and stuff like that. Everything's going to cancel out. You're going to sit there struggling for 4% per day. But what I do is I'm going to break the math down like this. Let's say this next bull cycle starts. I don't know. If it doesn't start tomorrow, it'll probably start in like the first or second week of February. So let's say we have a good 6 weeks of bull market, right? Give or take maybe like one big, probably 50% retrace throughout the market halfway through. So let's say we have 5 weeks, right? 5 weeks of straight bull. In 5 weeks, to make 700,000, which is my target, I would just have to multiply that by 25, which is actually easy because I did twice that 58, but 25 is a conservative number. And I know that sounds extremely crazy, but 25 multiple is a very conservative. Right. And I don't know, it sounds crazy, but it's on the conservative side. Anyway, so 25 multiple, right? All you have to do is find, let's see, maybe like 4 or 5 coins that do 200%. And then you got to realize that every time that you gain, your next gain, your multiples on your next gain isn't from my 30,000. it's from what I just came from. So like, let's say, like for instance, I got some breakout coins. I'm not quite sure. I'm still doing research on it, so I don't want to say it publicly. So I'm still watching them. But let's say this next breakout coin that I'm looking at is going to do a 4 multiple, right? Coming straight out the gate. So if I catch at the very bottom of this bear cycle, and it does 4 times in like half a week or a week, end of a week, that puts me at 120,000, right? So then now let's say I find another coin that does 400%, and you have at least every week there's one coin that does 400%. There's probably only 2 or 3 coins that do 100+%, and almost every coin does 20%. So, anyways, with that said, if so, I'm sitting at 120,000 after the first week. All I got to do is find another 4 multiple coin, and I'll be right there. And so that
Yeah,
put
so
me
you're not, you
150.
don't necessarily have to be trading in and out of the market every day to get your 4%. You could get 40% in 10 days and basically still, I don't know, that might not be the same. That may not work though, because if you're going in the market every single day and making a 4% or 10% or whatever your goal is,
That's tough.
yeah, but if you go back in the next day, make 10%, your compounding kicks in.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do 40% over 10 days, you're not getting the compounding daily. So yeah, that would be an issue. I'm gonna
Yeah.
show you.
I think the give or take math on that is about 10%. So like, let's say that you do, let's say you do 100% in 1 week, or you can do 2 40% trades in 1 week, or you can do 4 20% trades in 1 week, or you can do 8 10% trades in 1 week. At the end of the day, I guess you can say it's all 80%. If you do the 10 20%, I think you come out roughly maybe 10 15% more. That's, in my opinion, that's too much work, focus, and attention. Whereas if you spread out over too many coins, whereas if what I do is I dial down, and I really study like the market from a pure human mass psychology side, and I'll spot these coins out that I know is gonna blow. And I'll just go sit there, and I'll sit there for a week, and when it blows, I'm in an entry point that is so low. I'm in the pre pump, so the people haven't even discovered that this is going to be the coin. So I'm in there before the really smart people know. And then I catch the pre pump, then I catch the pre pump, then I catch the pre pump, then I catch the actual pump, then I catch the explosion, and then I'll sell at the peak. And a lot of times I'll catch it on the 50% retrace that comes right after it, resell it, gain more position, then sell right back at the top of it. And
Well, Kurt is saying the trick is finding those coins. How do you do the research? How do you do the research to find those coins that before they blow? Because let me show you something here. I'm going to share my screen again. I want to show you how even with this market that we have right now, it's still crazy when you look at coin market cap. And okay, you see my screen there. So there's Bitcoin down 3%, blah, 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 blah. Okay, click on this change column, 24 hours. And I just rearranged it. So now in the top 100, you got 27, 18, 16, 15, 15, 14, 14. Now that's the top 100. Let's go to the next 100 and do the same thing and just see what's going on there. So we go in, come on, computer. All right, so here's 101. And if we go back and resort those again, let's take a look and boy, this thing is slow. Bam, 61%, 32%, 30, and actually those returns are better. Of course, they're probably better because they're smaller coins and can afford to go up higher. Let's do the next 100. Okay, so now we're in number 201. We're going to resort that one. 43, 33, 31, 23, and there's more green going down than there is red compared to the top 100 typically. Let's go to the fourth 100. and see what it looks like. And I've been doing this for a while. Every time you resort these top 100s, it's just crazy. And this is during a bear market. During a bull market, it's like there's 3 and 4 and 500% in 24 hours sometimes. So it's freaking crazy. Now the question goes back to you again: is how the heck do you find them before they do what they just did there?
No, right? I have people offering me like hundreds and thousands of dollars to tell them how I do it or follow my calls, like just like sit right here on my back or something, watch what I do. But to go on the point of all those coins, I don't trade outside of maybe the top 15 coins in volume. The other coins that you're looking at are very susceptible to manipulation, pumps and dumps. Like I can go into those coins with like 5,000 BTC that moves a day and manipulate it with literally 5 Bitcoins. And I can manipulate it and make it look like a pump. It's all about, the thing about the market is that a lot of people, they go by technical analysis first and not by psychology. So when they see, if let's say I was a whale, right? And I'm really not a type to pump and dump, just because it just doesn't really feel right to me, like how I take people's monies. Like I rather like sit at a poker table and straight up square up to you and play a hand, and if you lose, you lose. But I don't want to shiest you away from your money, right? So like I don't want to trick you into losing. I want you to have fair game, and if you lose your money, you lose your money. That's why I only play in the top 15. But the other example is, let's say I wasn't like that, right? I could literally take 5 BTC, go into a coin that pumps maybe 5,000. Now, if you look at 24-hour volume on a coin that does 5,000 BTC, right? You take 5,000 divided by 24 hours. That's 208 BTC in an hour divided by 60 minutes. So that's 3.47. That's three BTC in 1 minute, right? If I took 10 BTC and I took the right chart, because a lot of people, they go purely off of charts and they don't look at anything else. Whereas in the crypto game, you're actually supposed to do it backwards. You look at psychology first, and then you use charts as a confirmation of what you see in the market and which way it's directing and the way it's going. But a lot of people, they'll look for chart signals first and then look for something to fit that chart to make it happen. Right.
You're telling me that you're basically taking the temperature, the sentiment of the market, what the emotions and the hopes and desires, or the concerns and fear. You're doing that before you look at charts.
Yes. That's
how do you do that?
Oh well. We're going off topic. I'm going to return back to making my original point. Is that a lot of people, they go purely off of TA, right? And then they try to make something fit. Like, let's say something's consolidating. Let's say something is hitting the absolute low and it's showing all these signals that it's going to blow up and have a pump, right, coming off the bottom. Me knowing that 70% of crypto traders are all using TA, what am I going to do? I have 10 BTC. I'm gonna go look for that coin that everybody's looking at. It's probably in the top 50. Look for that perfect little chart, look for the perfect little breakout coin, and I'm going to start that breakout myself. And I'm going to have everybody collapse into it and go, oh, yes, I've been watching this coin. It's blowing up now. Here's the pump, guys. Come into my pump that I just manipulated. And I'm going to take all your cash money when it comes to the top. And that's why manipulation is bad. That's only with 10 BTC. And that's 10 BTC with a volume of 5,000, 24 hours. Now imagine if I had a lot more money in BTC, or it was a smaller coin. And so that's why it's so easy to manipulate people that's just going by TA, because they don't, if you look at something, you see a chart, and then you look out into the market and can't figure out why it's doing something, right? So like, let's say for instance, IOTA, a lot of people are confused by IOTA and they go, man, this thing ain't breaking. What's the sentiment? I mean, the charts look perfect. The charts look like IOTA is going to break out the chart. The IOTA is going to be the next breakout coin that goes to $20, right? But the market doesn't think that. So, but if somebody were to purely go off of TA charts, they'll see IOTA and go, oh man, I got to go sit in that. And then if you look at the stars hard enough, or you look at a cloud hard enough, or a set of clouds up in the sky, you're going to see something. Whatever you want to see, you're going to make it happen and
I
visualize it.
see Lambos.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there's a Lambo. There's a hippo riding a Lambo and on top of the elephant. Like you can make out anything you want. So by going TA and then market, it doesn't fit. But if you go purely off of market, then look at TA and it doesn't fit, then you can go, oh no, this is not what's going on. But anyways, what IOTA is, it's just a stagnant coin. There's nothing, no advancement, no releases, none of that. It just needs to be a working coin. Once it's a working coin, that thing's gonna blow up. But until then, or until any kind of announcement, rumor, or anything that's about to happen, it's not going to go nowhere. It's just going to sit in the same old spot. All the TA charts does is confirm that what the market says. The market says we're waiting on this coin to make a move, to not make a move. We're waiting on this coin to actually become a working coin. And you go back to your charts, that's exactly what the charts say. So I don't have to do TA fibs, all of that stuff. I just look at the chart and go, oh man, that thing's poised for a breakout. It's been poised for a breakout for a really long time.
Yeah, but when you're looking at a chart, come on, James. When you're looking at a chart and say that, you're seeing something on the chart. That's technical analysis. Whether you actually draw it on there.
Well, you still have to use technical analysis to a little standpoint, but you get what I'm saying. The mindset, methodology, and the system of how you process breakout coins is completely backwards. It's a zag while everybody's zigging. So it's unconventional and it's the opposite way. And a lot of people don't realize that, I guess.
Okay, so back to my other question that before you made your point, which is how do you take the temperature of the market sentiment if you're not looking at charts? If you're just wanting to, oh, well, the market is saying this, and then the chart confirms it. Where's this market talking to you? In your dreams?
Yeah, it really just depends.
Are you monitoring social media? You're going to Facebook groups and Telegram and just taking Twitter or what to hear what people are saying about coins?
Maybe 10. I usually do that when I'm like super bored or like if I don't have anything. But I mean, I can take a look at the top 10 and tell you what coins are going to break out just from looking at the chart. Not the chart, just from looking at coin market cap. I can just look at the website, look at the top 15 coins and tell you which coins out the top, which coins rank from like 12 to 20 is going to break out and break the top 10 in the next bull cycle. I mean, it's very obvious. As long as you have a finger on the pulse of the market, you'll be able to tell. You don't have to necessarily go into Facebook and stuff. Another indicator, I mean, it's just psychology at the end of the day. It's like playing poker. Like the people were talking bad about XRP, and I had mentioned just real nonchalantly, I was like, I'm probably going to go into XRP, is that people talk bad about XRP or a coin when either they lost money, got their feelings hurt on it, or stuck in it, and it's just not doing anything. It's just bottomed out, or it just continues to go down. And so they're pissed off and they're mad about this coin because they see everybody else partying, right? So when your coin's going down, you see everybody, well, maybe not necessarily in the bear market right now, but you see everybody having a party, throwing little people at target boards and stuff like that, right? And you're just sitting there in your coin and you're just like, it's not moving or anything. You're mad, right? And so that's when people are mad about a coin, that's like my first indicator to go into the coin, actually. It's just a whole bunch of psychology. I can like the sentiments now about XRP, about people like talking negatively about it.
That's what I'm saying. Where are they talking and where are you listening to hear this talk?
I mean, I noticed it at the very beginning of this webinar. Remember when I was like, I might go into XRP?
Well, yeah. Well, that's because there's a philosophical difference in some of these people hate XRP because it's not a true crypto. It's not decentralized.
I disagree with that. I don't care if it's true crypto or not. It still makes money. That's why.
Well, yeah, you could do Forex or you could go buy stocks, but it's still in the crypto world. It's just that these guys are purists about blockchain technology, and they think XRP is bogarting it or swooping in, and they're not really true crypto. I don't really give a crap, to tell you the truth. I bought XRP, and I still hold some of it.
I mean that's the same way with 99% of traders. Nobody cares about XRP. Nobody is a purist except the 0.1% of crypto. All it is about is profit. If XRP is going to make you money, you're going to buy it. If Coinbase has this whole thing about initially when they first started, they're a company about true value, true integrity, true block. Man, that's all BS because I bet you Coinbase is going to add XRP. You know why? Because it's in the top 5 most money making volume.
Well, it's number 3.
So you're not going to leave cash money just sitting at the table, no matter what it is. So at the end of the day, like I don't think the people even in this chat when they mention XRP are purists. They don't think about the long term or anything like that. Like it's just.
All right, Kurt. He's making a challenge to you, man. He's insulting your integrity.
By the FUD. Yeah, no, that's seriously by the FUD. Yeah, no, that's legitimate.
Well, that is true. You sell to people's fear, and you buy their despair. You know, you buy when they capitulate. That's the Wall Street cheat sheet. The emotional cycle that every security goes through. So
yeah, there's a life cycle with it. And then there's life cycles with breakouts. What happens a lot of times is that when people get into bad talking a coin, they can only take it for so long before they have to stop and sell it. And so when they sell it, there's eventually comes a point in the sentiment where there's a mass sell off or a decent sell off. And once it hits that sell off, if you ever seen a breakout coin, it usually not always, but usually hits a small dip before it triggers that big breakout. And that's pretty much what it is. It's technically a bear trap, but it's not really a bear trap. So it's like a mini bear trap. It's a psychology really only found in crypto. There's so many just yins and yangs that are just crypto related. It's crazy, but yeah, I mean that's just what it is. I didn't trade anything before stocks, just crypto. So I had no idea. I really never knew that I was going to be sitting in front of a computer and reading charts like I've seen those people in the movies. I had zero ambition to ever be a trader or anything. I was like, this is crazy. And then one day I looked at myself and I was like, man, am I really reading charts right now? Like this is nuts. Like what am I right now? But yeah, I think the other name of the game is that 90% of everybody in the crypto market right now is attempting to be a trader or a holder or whatever. At the end of the day, very few people can hold like you, Jake. And so most people are going to sell at some point or try to buy the dip, whether it's a big correction dip or it's into trading or swing trading, weekly trading, month trading. They're going to trade out their coin. 95%, probably more than 95% of people are going to trade out their coin. And so once they trade out their coin, that's money on the table. Unless they know how to take that money and put it right back in their pocket or get more position in coins, that money is on the table for the taking. So 95% of people in crypto have never traded before, for the most part.
That's true. I have to agree with that. There's a mania going on right now,
and
part of it's because A, it's unregulated to a certain degree, and B, because it's unregulated, you don't have to be an accredited investor that makes a lot of money. You don't have to know a stockbroker or whatever. You can just open up an account and go. But I will say this: I am a hodler. I started with 2 Bitcoins, well, 1.9 something Bitcoins, and I only took the money from my fork coins, from Bitcoin Gold and Bitcoin Cash. I took that money and moved it over into Binance. I still got my 2 Bitcoins. I got 1.9 something Bitcoins, and I've got about about another 0.2 Bitcoins in my Binance account. So I'm able to. At one point, my highest, I hit a high of $44,000 in value of my whole account, and I'm sitting at about 30,000. So I really haven't lost that much compared. Well, I mean, I've got as much as you do, but I don't have my balls are not as big.
my bank, you forgot about that $25,000 cash I have in my bank.
Is it 25 plus 30 or a total of 30?
No, I have 30 in the exchanges. Then I have another 25,000.
Oh, okay. Well, you are beating me then. So anyway, so who just joined the room? Is that Tom?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, brother. So you did make it in. How did that
I
happen?
made it.
All right, let's pull you up there. All right, well, all right, Tom. So we're going to give you some FaceTime here. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you came from, and what your deal is.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess kind of like James, I started my whole venture in AdWords, SEO, all the fun stuff, internet marketing. Still do it. Right now, I'm a director at an agency for mainly paid ads. I think right now we manage about 500,000 a month in managed spend. But no, I got into crypto back in June. Really, once Ethereum started taking off, I saw that, and I just never got into it, and I figured that was the right time. I
What?
lost a little bit in the beginning.
When did
Just
you know? When did you first hear about Bitcoin and the blockchain? I mean,
it was years ago. I was looking into mining Bitcoin back in 2012, 2013. Never bought any. Never actually went through with it. Um,
it's too
always
bad.
hindsight 2020, right?
Well, they
But
say if you invested $100 in 2010, it'd be worth 100 million right now.
yeah, I know,
That's
right?
crazy.
It is
Y'all hear?
nuts.
You hear about 50 Cent,
Yeah, I
the
saw that
rapper?
earlier.
For all the other guys, 50 Cent, the rapper. He one of his albums back, I think it was like 2014 or so. He he took Bitcoin for payment, and he never really thought about it. He just forgot about it, and he just remembered the other day. Oh, wait a minute, I got some Bitcoin somewhere. He had 700 Bitcoins, James,
Hmm.
worth about eight
You
and a
know
half
the
million.
funny thing is when people mention about like Bitcoin back then, buying it at $1 or $20, I always think in my head, you can do that right now. So a lot of people, when they talk about that, they talk in like a despair or like a missed my chance to do it. But the you can do it right now.
Hey, it's going to go to a
I
million,
agree.
right?
And
Go to a
so
million.
So I think that's a lot of people don't enter the market because they think, oh man, unless I catch an ICO or a coin, like there's just no way for me to ever become a millionaire. But you just gotta have to crack the strategy. And I don't know, just in my head, whenever I hear people talking about, I could have had 200 Bitcoin, I'm just thinking like you can still get 200 Bitcoin. You just gotta know what you're doing when you get into playing there. So
Yeah, I
um,
mean, where do you think Bitcoin is going to go in 2018, Tom?
2018. Oh, I don't know. I mean, what main predictions are what 40K, something around there. Me personally, I don't think it's you know out of this world to say that. I mean, it really could. It just really depends on a lot of different factors in my mind. How is regulation going to have an impact on it? U.S. hasn't even really started at this point as far as any type of regulation on cryptocurrency trading. China's already had their little bit. We had this whole with so it's just going to be a very dynamic landscape over the next 12 months as countries start coming into play as far as implementing regulations. There's going to be safe havens too. There's some that are already in place where there's no tax on crypto gains. There's a growing number of those, as me and Tyler were talking about. What do we call it? Cryptopolis.
yeah.
But yeah,
Nice.
it's going to be nuts. As far as where it's going to go, it's just a matter of when. This market is just going to grow at a rapid rate. There's countries like Venezuela where their value of their currency has gone down so much that they're putting all their money in crypto. There's
Yep.
other places just like that where it's going to continue to funnel, the capital at a global level, and it's just a matter of time. It really is. As far as where Bitcoin's going to go this year, though, no idea. Hopefully up.
You hear experts say 40 to 50, and others say 100 by the end of the year. I want to be in that. This is just we're just taking a break. It's in a retracement. Every market has to go through this cycle that we just went through, and it's just the ones that can stick around and not get don't capitulate at the bottom and get out and go suck their thumb. You got an opportunity to go do something big. So one of the things about regulation, I do think there's things going on out there, but I also think it's a lot of false flags like Korea. Oh, we're banning Bitcoin, and then they weren't really banning it. China, they're not actually buying it. I just read something today, a headline that said China's not actually banning mining. They said they were going to, but when it comes down to it, I think there's a way around it. And we just had the chairman of the SEC come out and said, yeah, we're about to crack down on the ICOs, but he's going to crack down on the shit coins, the ones that are truly worthless, that don't have they don't have a team of people. I don't know how they're going to do that, and I think a lot of those ICOs don't even participate in the U.S. anyway, so it's out of his jurisdiction if they don't do that. They
Right.
can't really regulate Bitcoin or any other coin. What they can regulate is your actions. They can either make you an honest citizen or drive you underground.
That's
And
correct.
if they go too far with it, with the actions where they make it so onerous, like New York, they just won't do business there. But eventually, we'll have to make a decision. Do we jump through all those hoops and it's oppressive, or do you go to a decentralized exchange that you can't regulate and a decentralized wallet that you can't trace? I mean, the guy also said
That's Tom's specialty.
what's that? What is that?
It's his specialty.
Which is what?
Decentralized exchanges and all of that stuff.
Is that what you're studying, or is that what are you about to roll out something? Are you an
I
ICO
wish.
guy?
No, that's where I want the market to go. I mean, that's where it's headed. I mean, that's really where it is. Really the whole point of cryptocurrency in general is decentralization. There are going to be better decentralized exchanges coming soon. The real issue right now is getting crypto into fiat. And again, this is kind of what China's locked down at this point. I was talking to Mark about it earlier. He was saying that the over-the-counter trades in China and the market for over-the-counter trades are crazy right now. And there's so much scams going on due to regulation that people are actually getting scammed more now because of the regulation that has been put in place. So that's really going to be the big obstacle, as far as getting out of crypto and back into fiat. It's just going to be a wild ride. That's really all I got to say about it.
And that really is the thing, because if you decide I'm going to go dark and I'm going to go decentralized and I'm just going to give the U.S. I'm going to give the regulators the middle finger. The problem is sooner or later you want to come back into fiat because you want to be able to buy that yacht or that Lambo or whatever it is. And if you show up with a yacht or a Lambo, they're going to say, well, how did you get that, Tom, on your $50,000 income that you're making over here on your W-2 fiat income?
It was a gift from James. That's what I'm going to say.
You still have to, yeah, but you can only can deduct about 11,000 of that. But yeah, that's the thing is unless you get a dual citizenship in one of these other countries, like you say, and I thought about it. Okay, if I get really rocking where my trading account blows up, maybe what I'll do is I'll fly down to an island somewhere and just visit and trade on the beach and open my accounts down there and put that money I make while I'm down there and have a safety valve if I ever want to, bow out of the.
Yeah, well, I think Tom and Tyler, they already have plans to buy a private island.
Oh yeah,
they're already writing up like the Constitution and laws and country, and they got it.
But
all.
wait a minute, why do you want to have laws and constitutions, man?
I mean, otherwise you'll have people just going around killing each other. You gotta have some.
No, Oh, wait a minute. Would you go around if there was no laws right now? Would it make you want to go around and kill somebody?
No, I mean it's like a country, so it's like a legit.
I get it. There already is one. I think is it Estonia? There's already a country that it's a virtual nation that you can get a passport for as a virtual nation that's decentralized.
Yeah,
and
the passport. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But the passport, like the country, everything runs on crypto. So like our social security cards, you wouldn't need a social security card. It'd be like crypto. Like it'd be in the blockchain. Passports, all of that stuff. It would just be, it'd be super legit. Man.
All decentralized, all secure. Yeah, no more Equifax
all centralized.
hacks.
Did you say all centralized?
all decentralized.
Oh, okay. All right, good. Yeah, and that's possible. There's a guy doing that right now. There's a spot of land between what's that area over there where Clinton came in and bombed it. It's in the middle, not the Middle East, but it's in Euro. It's a European nation. I can't remember if it's Slovenia and all right, these two nations, and if I could figure out what they were, I'd tell you. There's a no man's land between them, and neither country will claim it. And some guy just showed up over there and put a flag in, so I'm gonna make this my own nation. And he's trying to do it right now, and he's trying to do it through crypto, and he's actually getting backing. Kosovo, that's right. Thanks, Brian. There you go. Liberland is the name of it. Check it out. It's for real deal. He's actually trying to create a virtual nation that we can do crypto and not have any other nation be able to put their thumb on them. So I think that's pretty cool. China's embassy got bombed too. From what, Mark? Mark's giving. Is that like breaking news or some time ago? But so what is your style of trading, Tom? How did you get when you got into trade? What'd you do? Open a Coinbase account like most people do? How tell us your story about how you got into it and where you wound up with your philosophy of trading.
Yeah, so I mean, I started out very slow. I got into some Bitcoin, started playing around in Poloniex, just doing some basic trading. My first big break was I noticed some FUD going around about Bitcoin Cash. It was right before the Seg 2x hard fork was canceled. It was that same week. As that was canceled, all the money from Bitcoin, which at the time was around 76, it just hit all-time highs of like 78. All the capital that had gone into that started flowing directly into BCH. So I caught that early. BCH was sitting at around 600-700, and then over the course of about 24, it was less than 48 hours, BCH went from, I think it was less than zero point 0.1 Bitcoin to zero point 0.5 Bitcoin. So that's kind of my big break where
you made like that was like your 20 grand or something crazy, right?
yeah. It was nuts.
Nice.
That's when I really got the idea that, hey, you can really make a lot of money in crypto. Because I did, and it was just like surprising how it all happened all so quickly. But then from that point, I started looking into, just looking into high potential coins. Held some EOS for the top, what was it, last week. And then in December, I caught a good arbitrage opportunity for LTC. So I noticed that, LTC had broken out. It had gone from, I think, 150 to right over 400 in like a day, 2 days.
Yep.
But the alt exchanges hadn't caught up. So the exchange rate on those.
What exchange was that pricing on? Were you looking at?
So it was on all of them. So I did it on Binance, I did it on Bittrex, and I did it on Poloniex. In that day, I moved funds back and forth, buying Litecoin at maybe 285 and selling it for 360, 380 on, or not on Coinbase, but on GDAX. So that was had my GDAX limit not been 50K withdrawal in a day, I could have done much more. But that was a very prime opportunity. And from that point, I've been playing around with a bunch of different styles. I've been looking at other people's styles of trading. James, I like the aggressive approach with that. I've got another friend who's been doing primarily shitcoins, like real shitcoins, like fractions.
Diarrhea
like
coins?
One Satoshi.
Liquid diarrhea coins?
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. But, I mean, he had one the other day that he got in at, like, 1 Satoshi, and it blew up to 360 sats, like, just overnight.
That's crazy.
It is absolutely crazy.
But that's not an ICO, just a coin that happens to be on something like Cryptopia or something like that,
So
right?
this is on CoinExchange.io. Literally the shittiest shit coins you can find. They have Doji pairs or Doge pairs. So Yeah, I mean, it's not even divisible by Bitcoin. They're so small in value, but they do have a lot of potential. I mean, I think I put maybe $50 in this one shit coin called Strong Hands. 2 weeks later, it had gone up to, I think it was $800 on my $50 investment on it. But
So
it's
do
just
you
crazy.
how fast do you are you trading in and out of the market on a daily basis? Are you a day trader? Are you a swing trader where you're in for 3 or 4 or 5 days or a week? Or position trader that's in there for weeks or more?
Honestly, right now I'm kind of all over the place. I'm still trying to figure out, what strategy do I want to go hardest with. What I'm really thinking though is a split allocation, so I can get a little piece of everything, but still also have the potential, like James was talking about, as far as his math, as far as writing the breakout coins. It's a fantastic model as far as making a lot of capital. Um, but there are high potential coins, XLM, EOS. You have, other ones such as that ICX. You have WAN chains coming out. All coins that you want to hold for a while because they're not going to 10x in a day, but they will over the next 5-6 months.
I mean, that's
Uh,
what happened to me. I mean, I went from like having a coin that I paid 450 for that's worth, 15 grand. But
yeah,
I literally forgot I had it. I literally did. I was like 50 Cent, I was over writing my tunes uh, and just forgetting about that I had it until somebody said, "Did you know it's at 2,400?" Damn, it was at 450 last time, or 200,
yeah.
literally before. So I'm willing to hold like that way, and it doesn't bother me to hold. But at the same time, there's a lot of value in being able to buy something low and pump through the ceiling and sell it. So here's the question: how long do you guys think that a market where shit coins exist and that you can get into something that's Satoshi level that can go 360x in a day? How long is that going to last, or is that going to come crashing down in a short period of time? Maybe the SEC cleans it out and says you guys can't invest in coins like that anymore. They have to be approved by the SEC.
I think the main thing there is how far is the capital expansion in the crypto market really going to go? We haven't even broken $1 trillion yet. So I think it can be, at least for another year, regulation is going to be the real, big piece of that puzzle. Honestly, I don't know.
I
Yeah.
think that the market cap has at least um, well, so starting my math, if we just think about U.S. people, let's say we take a typical American family and surround them at Thanksgiving with a bunch of friends and family. Out of those 20 people, maybe one person actually has crypto.
No,
Whereas,
I bet even one person might know about it.
well, one person has crypto, but 19 of those people out of those 20 people know about crypto or Bitcoin. So you have one out of 19 people that actually took action to own a coin. And that's big. Like even if you think about like your work place or like you go into work, I would guess it's the same ratio. Everybody knows about Bitcoin or their little chatter about Ripple or this and that, but like only 1 in 20 people maybe actually have a coin. And so I think we're just at, like he said, like Tom said, is very at the tip of the iceberg. I think there's at least a 4 or 5 multiple of where we're at now. And that
Well,
would
that
put us
would be my other
four or
question is
$5 trillion or something crazy.
and that's why I'm kind of like you, Tom. I think there's some value in finding those real valuable coins and sitting on them, like EOS. I mean, they just came out. Did you see the announcement they made last week or so, where they said we're not going to do ICOs. What we're going to do is we're
Yep.
going to do if you own EOS and somebody wants to launch a new coin on our site, it's not going to be an ICO. We're going to actually invest money, venture capital into that company, and everybody that owns EOS is going to get their pro rata share of it. So every time a new company comes on board, you're going to get part ownership in it. It's just like owning a mutual fund of every. So imagine every single coin on Ethereum right now, and you had a part of it. Now,
It's an incredible model. It really is. It works out
yeah,
for everyone involved.
yeah. So I think they could be the Ethereum killer long term if. I mean, or maybe there's room for both of them. I don't know. There's Pepsi and Coke, right? And but I do think that sooner or later this mania that we're in is going to dry up somewhat. But on the other hand, those major coins, it's like investing in Ford when he was making Model Ts. If we just hang around long enough, those things can 100x and 1000x over a 5 or 10 year period. So I don't know if I want to be a day trader to that extent. It's fun, but I don't have time to be a day trader every single day watching the market. I've got other stuff I got to do. So I'm just wondering, how would a hodler do against a trader if you said, okay, I'm going to get that portfolio of EOS, Neo, or one of VeChain or whatever else you think is a stellar or whatever, Lux coin, etc., and hang on to them versus being a trader full time?
It's really hard to say. It really is. Honestly, if I would have held all of my holdings that I sold, I would be well over the $500,000 mark right now.
You just proved my case right there.
Exactly. But,
Yeah.
the thing is, I mean, there's also a lot of potential with trading if you have the discipline. You have to be very, very disciplined as far as what you're doing, what risk you're taking, as far as gauging the market, looking at the charts. I mean, it's very obvious that things are going bearish. But, the greed was just at an all-time high, at least for me. And that's why I took a pretty big hit, when the market went bear.
I think one aspect of holding, well, I have my different opinions and stuff about the fastest. I guess you're asking what's the fastest avenue, right? And it just really depends on what your goals are.
I don't know if I'd say the fastest. I'm just saying, if I don't take your path, Confucius, and I take mine, and my path is like, okay, I take some of my Bitcoin Gold and Bitcoin Cash and some of my Bitcoin and maybe buy a few other coins because, Bitcoin itself, now that it's at 10,000, it's got to really grow market cap to 10x, right? Where a smaller coin has a much bigger potential to 10x. So the key is, can you find a few other coins that can do what Bitcoin just did over the last couple of years and hold on to them and get your growth through those and not have to trade them in and out of the market? Because you could trade in and out of the market just on Bitcoin itself, Bitcoin to cash. And
right. I get your perspective. There's pros and cons to each avenue. And I think at the end of the day, it just depends on what your goals are. If you're trying to hit 100 million, you're going to have to day trade. There's really no way around it mathematically for you to gain that much capital. Like, nothing is going to 100,000x. If you want 100 million in a year or two, then nothing is going to 100,000x that fast.
So you're on to 100 million now, because you were talking about, wait a minute, you were talking about 10 million the other day. So now you're talking about 100 million. You've upped your goal.
It just depends on what your goal is. If you want a million or two in a year, probably holding. But if you really want to really press on the gas, you have to take advantage of compounding interest, and that's how you really press on the gas. There's pros and cons to everything too. I mean, you have to, like you said, there's a lot of time, energy, and focus involved with trading too. Because if you sit, like, if I sit in a coin, like even now, if I sat in a bear market, I would be I would be destroyed. But had I not been paying attention somewhat, I'm at least like not all the way destroyed. But on the flip side, the one downside that I do see with holding long is that I'm a pro bubble person. Being so deep into crypto, it reminds me. It doesn't remind me because I didn't live through it, but everything that I've studied versus the .com bubble, I'm a very pro bubble person, and so I do believe that crypto will eventually hit a 90% complete market correction. Where this comes,
90%,
probably 80
wow.
to 90%. But it's going to be the same thing as .com. There's going to be money on both sides. So you have everything blow up here, but then you have your Apples, Facebooks, Googles, and everything that comes afterwards.
So tell me this: is it all going to fiat, or is it just going to go to other alts that are smaller that need to have that capital anyway because they're still growing?
For the bubble?
Well, for a 90% correction, 90% of it either could come totally out of the crypto market and go into US dollar, or it goes into other altcoins. Well,
It's just going to be a complete market correction in general. But because the bubble conversation is just an entire conversation by itself. But I'm pro bubble, and I do believe that a bubble is going to be on the horizon. I don't think it's anytime soon. But with that said, if you don't pay it, one real big drawback about holding long is that a lot of people hold and forget about it, and those people are very susceptible to having $0 at the end of the day too. So if you pay attention, have your finger on the pulse of the market, at least you can get out with, let's say the bubble, you hit the top of the bubble and you get out halfway through and you're down 20%. Cool. But the people that's not paying attention are not going to realize that the market just crashed down 70% until it hits CNN or something, or their mom or auntie is like, hey, you heard about Bitcoin going all the way down to $100?
your Uber driver's giving you advice on crypto.
Yeah. So there is a downside to holding long. I would assume most people kind of watch the market somewhat actively, even when they're holding long. But some people,
I was sitting there thinking at 18,000, should I maybe sell some of my Bitcoin? And I don't know. At the end of the day, I just said, no, I'm just going to sit on it. It's going to go to 50 or 40 or 50 sometime this next year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be, but I do want to, I am studying the trading. I'm not denying that that's definitely on the table. I'm just trying to determine how can for example, the guy that's teaching me to trade right now, his deal is when he hits his first target, and we use Elliott wave. So when you get in on wave number 2 point, and go to top of 3, he'll sell 50% of his position. It'll retrace to do a number 4 wave retracement down, and get back in or leave it in there the other half. When it goes up to the 5th wave target, sell off 80% of that and leave that 20% in, which turns into a very small amount, and he just leaves it. He'll take that off the table and put it in a wallet and forget about it. And that's his long term holding, and it gives him maybe the best of both worlds. He's getting the lion's share of the run up and the day, the day or position trading, but it also gives him some that he can put in the bank back there and forget about it. That maybe if it 100x or 1000x over the next 3 or 4 years, it's a nice little insurance policy. I kind of like that idea. Did everybody go dead in the chat room? I hadn't seen anything. Are you guys in the chat room? Are we live? Nobody said anything since Clinton bombed the embassy. That's Mark. They're either mesmerized or they're in Telegram chatting, and we're just boring them to death. So, all right, here's an interesting thread that I found on Facebook. It was about how do you calculate what you're trading in. In other words, do you calculate the value of your trade based in washing dishes for crypto? Okay. Do you calculate your trade based on the pair that you're trading? Like if you're in BTC on Binance, you don't have the dollar. So when you're looking at a trade against, say, XRP, are you calculating the value of that trade based on the BTC XRP relationship, or you can only buy XRP with what you have in there with crypto? So do you also compare it to the dollar and say, now that I bought XRP, the US dollar value of XRP is this, and I need to watch that? It's very confusing, because I've heard people say, look, Bitcoin's going to do its thing and XRP is going to do its thing. They're not tied to each other. They're not growing or shrinking at the same rate. They don't have anything to do with each other. It's the dollar that matters. And other people say, no, that's not true, because you didn't buy it in dollars. You bought it in BTC. Do you have any answers for that, Tom? Or you don't even know what in the hell I'm talking about?
I mean, I look at both. I mean, I look at the dollar value of each trade as far as profit made based on current Bitcoin rates. But I mean, I think Tyler and James follow. I know Tyler specifically pointed out that he looks primarily at BTC. which is a fine approach. I just like to know, kind of where I'm at dollar wise or USD based. Just
Well,
get an
that's the
idea.
thing. Yeah, because if you don't do that, you could think you're making money looking at your pair, saying, "Well, XRP is doing great against the BTC," but if the dollar is moving in a different direction, you actually could wind up losing money. Is that not true?
It is if BTC is falling. If it's done what it's done in the past week, yeah, it could very well potentially be the case.
So is that why your XRP is up? Because you're comparing it to the fact that the Bitcoin is going down versus XRP is just not moving, or XRP's static against the dollar. It's confusing as hell.
Yeah, I mean, you're
James
right.
Tyler likes to use Bitcoin as his main stack because he looks at it as a long term appreciating asset. Yeah, I can see that. Brian's asking me, you mentioned a trading method. It's just a technical analysis, Brian. We use Elliott wave, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. Elliott wave says that every move up is or move down is a 5 wave cycle, and then there's an ABC retracement off of the top. And if the Elliott wave holds its pattern and actually confines to the definition of the Elliott wave, you can predict the direction and maybe how high it can go. And the way you determine how high is you throw Fibonacci on top of it. So with Elliott wave and Fibonacci, then you can project. Let me see if I can pull a chart up here that let's see. I was looking at I think it was BNB. Let me see if I can find it, and I'll share it. And so you use that. You also use, let's see, okay, I think it's this one. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Give me a second, Tom. All right, can you see that? This is Binance coin. This is Binance's BNB coin. So now this is not holding true, but yesterday when I was looking at this, um, right yesterday, this candle right here was the latest price action. So when you're looking at where it came from, BNB had a run up and then it came back down. I mean, you really can't see it on the scale. It's hard to see it. Okay, there you go. So BNB had a nice run up and it came back down and it bottomed out, and then it made an impulse up. And that impulse up is where you could start taking a look at some technical analysis. Let me get it where it makes sense here. So if you look at this, when I looked at it, bottomed out here and it came up and it went back down to here, then at that point I said, okay, it looks like it could be doing an Elliott wave move up. So what I did was I took Fibonacci, which I'm not going to. I put Fibonacci on the downside, and oh crap. So I would draw my Fibonacci like that right there. I started at the bottom of that lowest candle, went to the top of that number 1, and that's my Fibonacci. That tells me where I think things are going to go. I came in and drew some yellow lines there for some of the Fibonacci lines. And then I came in and drew my Elliott wave. So I took the lowest point up to the highest point from my first wave, down to the bottom of that candle. And keep in mind, I couldn't see these candles here. And then I have my Fibonacci lines. I can do a Fibonacci extension, which if you take Fibonacci and start at the top of the wave, top of the thing and come and pull the tool down, it'll actually extend. It'll extend that Fibonacci lines above it. So these are your extension lines. Hold on. So that gives me the ability to look and see where could it go. And these same ratios typically hold true. So let me get rid of that. So if I'm going to go down to my second wave, my third wave has to be as long as the first wave or a little bit longer. So that means that the number three wave, well, man, they don't want to cooperate. My wave 3 could have been here, but at that point it was probably not as long as number 1 wave. So it would have to go here to conform with Elliott wave. And then my number 4 wave has to come back down somewhere, right? Where it could come here, it could come down here. Chances are, if it's going to fit the profile, it's going to go here. And then my number 5 wave has got to be somewhere up here. And again, we're just kind of guessing. And what's interesting is if you follow this, it almost always plays out. In this case, it broke through the second point there to the downside, which means I got to start over. My prediction doesn't hold water because it broke through. Now, if it had held support here and then the candle started coming back up through here, you could put a buy order in here and expect it to go to here because it is conforming at that point. And you could sell. You would have your target sale right there. That's where you sell maybe 50% of your position. It goes back down to 4. If it holds support there, a lot of people get back in here or buy more here if they missed the buy down here, and then run it and come back up here to wave 5. And wave 5 may go here, clear. It could even go in further up. But where you start putting your trailing stops in, sell 80% and then keep your 20%. So that you also would add your MACD and your RSIs, and you'd add your cloud, Ichimoku cloud, and the cloud says it should go up from here on the 6-hour candle. Anyway, that's kind of his program. That's in a nutshell. It's not exactly what you do every single time, but that's kind of stuff that we that we kind of follow. So James says we'll be back on vid and mic here soon. Jake, he had to go to the bathroom. That's what he's doing. All right. Anyway, are you using technical analysis, any tools like that to do any trading on Tom?
Not really. TA is not really my thing. I really pay attention to market sentiment. I'm in Telegram chats. I'm looking at the news. I'm trying to get a gauge of how people are feeling more so than anything else when I'm trading. I mean, I'll look at the charts. I'll glance at them. I'll try to get an idea as far as where things are headed. Look at volume. Look at order books. But for the most part, really just listen to people.
Well, volume and price is the primary function of being able to play. You could do it just on that alone. I mean, that's volume and price has more importance than any of that other stuff I just showed. But that other stuff it's remarkable how often it hits those numbers. It hits those different resistance and support.
Right.
But I kind of like having those kind of discipline, rules-based trading. I don't know that I can trust my gut. I mean, I just don't know if I can figure out the sentiment because I don't know if I'm getting a subset of that sentiment. I mean, do you get your sentiment from the Telegram room and what some of the other people in there are saying? Or are you out there following the Twitter world or looking at headlines or?
A little bit of everything. I look at Telegram a lot. Some of the bigger channels, if market, it's a bunch of bullshit. You're not going to get very good signals. Everything's kind of either. There will be some pumps and dumps, but for the most part right now, not really a good place to get your information. However, when things are bullish, you can kind of anticipate where the market's going to go for certain coins just based, of course, you're going to have the shillers in there who are trying their best to promote the coin that they want to go up. But if you really look at things in a bit of a different light, as far as not just one person or three people, but across different channels, you start noticing the patterns. That'll give you a little bit better idea as far as what's to come. If you can tie that to upcoming events, things that are coming soon, things that have the potential to add that additional multiplying factor to the pre-existing hype, that's when you can really find that sweet spot.
The pre-pump, the pre-pump,
the pre-pump for ICX, which I missed entirely. By the way, don't go into something a week or 2 weeks before the pre-pump.
Well, how do you know? What is that called? The pre-pump section?
That's called you just lost some money in a bear market.
So is there any coins right now, altcoins that you're looking at that you might consider purchasing while you're waiting around for the bear to do its thing?
I mean, right now I'm holding ICX. I'm still waiting for the summit for them, which I believe is what, 30th or 31st for them.
What is the summit? Is that their summit?
Yeah, it's for Icon. Yeah.
Okay.
Jake, are you coming to Arizona?
You mean No, I didn't even know about that until I got into the Slack channel with you guys. When is it?
Oh, February 8th or 9th.
Yeah, ain't gonna happen. I've got my wife is the Register of Deeds in our county, and she's running for re-election. It's just now starting. Election date's May 1st. I'm running her campaign. My daughter's getting married May 7th. It's like I ain't gonna have. I don't even know how I'll have time for crypto.
Yeah.
I guess I'll be a hodler.
Somebody. I think somebody's gonna rent a Lambo with their crypto money that week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, come pick us up. Yeah. I don't know who it is. I think it's probably gonna be either Tyler or Tom or Mark. I don't watch out for Mark. I think Mark is like really killing it, but we don't really.
Or you can do like that dude did the other day, where he came out of a conference, and he was trying to pick up this chick, and there was this nice Ferrari sitting there, and he told the valet that, hey, that's my car, I need my keys. So she asked him, is that your car? And he said yes. So he started hollering to the valet, I need the keys, my car. He goes, well, I need your card. So, well, the card's in the car. So he gave the guy the keys to this $300,000 car, and he drove off in it. And the guy that owned it is pretty ticked off. He's suing the hotel over it. So you could get away with doing that, man. Just yell at the valet, tell him it's your car, you need the keys. But the thing is, can you drive it? The guy had a hard time driving it because he wasn't used to, all that power.
I'll figure it out. Right. Yeah, I got it.
Steve says, can you recommend any trading bots for newbies? I didn't even know there's a trading bot for veterans that I could trust. Have you guys seen any trading bots that you would? Where do you get a trading bot?
I think all
they're everywhere.
I don't know. I tried looking for some. I just couldn't find any. I think all the real good ones are private.
Yeah, the ones that they're actually advertising seems like they're there to steal your money.
I don't know. If you guys find one, man, shoot.
I know there's a guy named Crypto Crow on YouTube channel. He does have a trading bot. It's called Profit Trailer, and then he's got an add-on to it called Profit Feeder. And supposedly it does good when the market's doing a certain condition, but it racks up a bunch of bag coins where it's not really. If the market condition is not right, it'll buy coins and it can't sell them, and then you wind up holding the bag on a bunch of them. But he sells that thing for like $4,000 for that trading bot, and another $450 for that add-on component. I ain't paying anybody $4,000 until I have $1 million or $2 million from crypto. If I get to that point, I don't think I need a bot, but maybe I'll hire somebody to write a bot for me instead of buying somebody else's. So, sorry about that, Steve. You just have to tough it out like the rest of us and go learn it. If you were going to give a new person advice on, okay, I don't know anything about trading at all, but I want to know. I want to get in this market. What advice would you give them?
Get in the high potential long term coins, the high tech ones, the ones that are on their own blockchain. That's what I would say. If you don't know anything about anything, get in the EOS, get in XLM, get in Icon, get in Aeon, get in WAN chain when it releases, all the ones that have good potential. Still keep an eye on the market. Don't just sit it and literally forget about it. Look at Blockfolio maybe once a day. Look at the news. Just keep an eye on it because it's still your money. But that's
So
what I would say.
you're saying be a hodler then.
I mean, yeah, if you don't want to
Yeah.
put the time and risk and everything else that's involved in trading, yeah. I mean, that's a safer play. It's one of the safest plays, yeah.
How much research do you do on coins as far as reading their white paper, looking at the team, and going to their Telegram channel, their Discord, following their Twitter accounts, and all that kind of stuff? Do you do that?
For the ones that, like the ones I mentioned, for those I do, yeah. I'm not digging too deep. It's kind of hard to do the split between actively trading and doing the research side of things as well. It's really about time management more so than anything else.
That is very much the truth. Hank is asking you a question, James. How many hours do you spend a day actually trading or in the front of the computer, possibly trading?
Um,
Or else, how many hours do you actually sleep?
all right. It just kind of depends on what's going on. If like right now, trying to time the bottom is like really critical time. Because if it really hits the bottom, it's going to shoot 20% right off the bottom, right off bat. So that's like 20% like free money. So that will keep me up. I don't really get any sleep if something's pumping. So if I'm really trying to time the top, I don't sleep. It just really depends on what the market gives you. Most of the time, honestly, is just spent just wondrously wandering around and falling into holes and rabbit holes and different things that catch your eye. Um, the thing with crypto, I think trading is always like trying to learn. And even like during this bear market, I'll try to spend like 2 or 3 hours just learning, like really self evaluation, taking like 10 steps back and seeing what's going on and seeing how the bear market really affected things, seeing how stupid I was in certain things, and figuring out like how I'm not going to do the same things this next go around. Looking at signals, just a lot of just real just self grading, I guess. Where did I go wrong? What did I do? Like even if you did really great, like still like what could I done better? Just
Yeah, how
stuff.
much of it is luck that we're just catching this bull market, and when a bull market, all ships and high tide, all ships rise.
Right. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. A lot of people say, well, not a lot of people, but I do agree with the thing where like nobody can really lose in a bull market. Like everybody's prediction is right when everything's going up.
Yeah,
Um, I think that there is a strategy where you can, because everything has to go through a 50% retrace after a pump, and all your
right.
usual stuff. And so there is the strategy of always going up. So I guess
Right.
there's winners, and then there's like winners, and then there's like Lambos, and so um,
Well, I'm
yeah.
gonna tell you where I'm gonna show you where your bottom is, man. I just shared my screen.
Oh
See,
yeah,
I,
yeah. I
this is
want to see that live in person. I
all right.
want to do
So
technical analysis a lot better. I think one thing that is I'm really interested is in price action. I've heard really good stuff about price action. I never went into detail on it, but um, I think that's a really good area to focus in. But
well, it made a head and shoulders right here, this right through here,
Mhm.
and then it started doing this stuff, and I drew a trend line down, and it bounced off the trend line, and then it looked like it was doing a little flag, which generally on a downtrend, when it does a flag like this, it's going to go down about another amount, about that same amount, which it did.
Mhm.
So it actually created this downward channel
Mhm.
trend where it's trending down. So when it came into right here, I was like, okay, it looks like it's just going to go up and down in this channel. And you want to know where the bottom was, and you were saying you were going to get in at 86.11, and I'm predicting that's, huh?
75 now.
Oh, is it 75?
11.
So anyway, here's my prediction date right here. And I drew this green line before the action happened. So it's following right along my path. Now the time frame may not be exactly right, but because what I did is I counted how many candles down. That was about 8 candles down and about 13 candles up. And there's about 8 candles down. So I figured, okay, it's taking about 13 candles to get to the top of the channel and 8 candles coming back down. These are 6-hour candles. So I figured if it's 13 up, 8 down, 13 up, 8 down, that's like 45, I think it was, plus these 4 or 5 candles here. It came out to about 47 candles, 47 6-hour periods. And that's what I don't know where I came up with 90 hours on my first prediction, but actually it turns out that it is 282 hours to get to your 8611. But so I don't think 8611 was the bottom either. I really think that if you look at way back over here,
that's what I'm looking at too. Are you looking at? You're looking at the point before it dipped. Before the big pump happened, way back in December, maybe
right there.
Yeah, there's a huge dip, and that caused the initial big pump, and it's actually the line below that. Like, what's it going to do?
This one?
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in there. I don't even know what that is.
Actually, this right here, what's it going to do? I actually wrote that back when it was right here. When it was going sideways, I said, what's it going to do? And, of course, wasn't sure. But that's about, what is that, 8150?
I think there was another point, too. If you zoom out just a little bit, you see that point where there's a big dip and then it goes
right
on
here?
rise? Maybe
this one?
Yeah, somewhere right in there. I think it's even lower than that.
That's about 6100 right there.
At the top of that one, up the top.
That's 7647. What'd you say your number was?
70, 75, 11, but it's probably more in the.
It's right in there then. 75, 58. So it's right there at this double top.
Yes,
right here.
That
where
right
you got
there.
some resistance. Okay, well I just figured it's going to come down to here, which is 8270 right there. And that's where I figured it, because it kind of paused right here and had some resistance. So anyway, we could all be wrong, but it could go that far down.
I just hope.
What's going to keep it from going down? If it just keeps following this trend, unless there's some super news or something that causes that breakout, it's got to break that trend line right there before we do anything. Yeah, so people say it has to break 11,000. Well, it has to break about 12,000 there, and it's got to break about 11,305 there, but it only has to break 10,590, but it's still got to break above it and start making a move. So it's going to be hard for you to call the bottom, because if it's at the bottom, like for example, let's say this is the bottom right here. How do we know that's not the bottom? You're not going to know it until it gets up here somewhere. Savvy?
I'm looking at the screen. What was that? What was that again?
I was saying, how would you know this is the bottom? Let's say this is the bottom right here. How will we know it's the bottom? You're not going to know it's the bottom until it gets up here somewhere and breaks out above that trend line. If it doesn't do that, then it's liable to come back down, and this is going to be the new bottom. So it's going to be hard to catch a bottom, because you don't know if it's the bottom yet until it goes back up and confirms that it was the bottom.
Oh yeah, that's where I come in with my my
crypto analysis.
Cryptical analysis, yeah. It has to go back to the time when we were like, okay, this is a good price for Bitcoin, and then when it got to the point where it's like 8,000, 9,000, we're like $10,000. No way, man. This is crazy. At that point, the first time you say this is crazy, you got to reverse back to that point, and that's where it's going to go, because it's a market correction, right? So you got to go back to the correct price. Well, the correct price was before things got crazy. So, yeah, I think that, and just in my mind, because everybody that bought after that point is all not
euphoria,
not correct. I mean, it's
euphoria.
Yeah, like they are going to sell. it's just a matter of getting to that point where like that number that they're like, oh man, I can't do this anymore. They have to sell it. Like it's
Okay,
gonna
so how do you think all of the people that's coming into the market, like all these hundreds of thousands of people that go in and apply for an application for an account at Coinbase or Binance, Bittrex is still shut down. I don't know if all the other ones, Binance opened back up. They were shut down for about 2 weeks. They got clobbered. They opened up for 1 day and got 300,000 applications in 1 day and shut it back down. And they've been getting on average about 4,000 applications every single day, 7 days a week. You think about all of those people trying to get an account. People are now selling verified accounts. That's how they're making money now. They're selling accounts. They're not even selling crypto. So how's that going to impact the market? Are those people now scared away now that are because they're typically newbies and they want to get in on the mania and the FOMO, or are they now like, oh, I'm going to get in when it's low and get a good buy on it? Are they smart enough to figure that out? Are all these people going to come in with their money and affect the market? What do you think, Tom?
I think it's going to take a little time, with things hitting all-time highs across the board and then having the big correction. It's going to take a little while for people to gain confidence back in the market in general.
Well, that might be what pushes it. Well, that might be what pushes it to 40, because you think about once it gets down so low, these Wall Street guys are coming in with their money. Do you guys know there's over 150 hedge funds that have millions of dollars in crypto? 150 of them, and they're growing every day. Every day is another hedge fund opening up. So if you think about it, those guys are smart enough that they will buy when it gets down to 7,000 or 8,000. And they may be the next push that gets it up where it finally breaks out. But when it finally breaks out, maybe that's where all these new accounts start rushing back in and drive that sucker on up to 20 or 30 or 40, just because there's just so much new money coming into the market.
I think one thing that I look at really hard is like the big picture thing. And so I look at the total market cap a lot. It was at, where is that money? It's just sitting on the sideline. Those people are just waiting for the bottom to happen. And to me, until that money comes back, you're not at the bottom. And so I'll know I'm at the bottom as soon as that shoots back up to $700 billion. Right now, it's shot to like 650 and just cannot break 650. And so I think what happens is there's a general trend. It went to 650, shot back down, 640, shot back down, 600, 620, shot back down. And so all these people are realizing, man, every time I put money in this market, I'm losing it. I'm just going to sit out. Just a bunch of people like me just sitting out, just waiting. And eventually the price is going to reach a point where even the most disciplined person, when they see $8,000 or Bitcoin going 8,500, they're going to sell their position. And the other thing too, I don't think it's going to bounce off of 85. I don't think it's going to bounce off of 8. I think it's going to bounce off of 75, but I think it's going to sit at 8,000 for a day or two. And until all the money is like, holy crap, $8,000, we got to just rush in. And then it's just going to be just a day of an explosion. I think a big chunk of new money, what you're saying, because we have 300 billion. We have 300 billion that's sitting on the sideline. We can think of that as like a loyal customer, repeat customer, because they're going to come back. Those people, that money's going to come back. So that right there is almost 30%. So as soon as they come back in this bull market, it's going to be 30% right off the top increase. And so the new money on top of that is going to come as soon as they see the crazy increases. Once they hear about Ripple going to 200%, they're going to rush back in. I don't think it's going to be Bitcoin going to 15,000 that's going to get people excited. I think it's going to be some of these alts like Ripple or ICX or any of these
or Bitcoin Cash or
people really remember Litecoin. They remember Litecoin going from 150 to 400 in like 4 days. Like the
90.
Right.
I remember it was sitting at 90 and I said, why didn't I buy that?
The general like mass of people, they remember that specifically. And so when they start seeing Litecoin just shoot out, when they start seeing these rockets go off, they're gonna jump back in. I think we're gonna hit probably like 1.13, 1.4 maybe in this next bull before it peaks. But yeah, to me, there's just too much money sitting out. The money's not coming in. Every time that I see the money come in, it comes right back out, and the new highs are the new low. All of that stuff. The new highs are the new lows. It's just not increasing, and I think people are just getting smarter and just
No, it's in that downhill trend. It's in that channel, baby. It's going to stay in that channel until something
bottom.
shakes it up.
Yeah,
So my timeline is what I told you, February 1st or 2nd to get down to 86.11 or whatever your price was.
yeah. I was
So
hoping that it started crashing tonight, but
it ain't going to start crashing. There's no reason for it to. TA
Bullish,
rules,
guys.
baby.
I think it's stabilizing.
it actually broke at the top of the channel just now. But
What?
I think so.
Top of my
Volatility's
channel?
volatility's down though. I don't know. I think we might be near bottom.
Think so? I
Maybe.
think we have to
I've been
have.
wrong before, so don't trust me.
No. I agree with you. I think there has to be some kind of action, whether it's down or up. I hope we go down and we hit the bottom, but
Yeah.
if we're not at the bottom, I think we're
We
going to
want
go.
those gains.
Well, take a look at this. The volume is like dead. See that? Versus back here. You guys seeing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no volume.
Volume's
So
down,
I don't know.
volatility's down.
Yeah. So unless we start seeing some volume pick up, there's really no reason for it to change what it's doing, which is just kind of going back and forth, meandering down that slow river. But okay, we're at 2 hours on this deal. You guys got anything else important to say? By the way, Tom, are you in Antioch, Tennessee?
I lived in Antioch a
Oh,
long time
okay.
ago.
Oh, are you in Tennessee? Where are you?
No, I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. You told me I thought James had said he's in Antioch or what? Maybe I
Oh, no, we used to
misheard
live.
him.
We
Okay.
said, yeah, we're all from that little
Oh,
Tri-City area.
I used to live in that area. I used to live off of Haywood Lane.
I'm
Oh,
trying to think. I went to Apollo Middle School.
Oh, really? I wouldn't know. I'm older than that. I have no clue about the schools over there.
Yeah, it's. I'm trying to think. I can't even remember what it's off of. Oh, it's been too
Nolensville
long.
Road, Old Hickory Boulevard. Anyway,
Old Hickory Boulevard, wasn't far. Yeah.
so all right. Maybe we'll get more participation and questions as we start doing these things. I'd like to bring in some other. I'd really like to do is maybe interview some of these guys on some of these big coins. I mean, get them in here and grill their ass and pull out every firing neuron that they have rattling around in their head and get some good insider information. That's what's cool about crypto, man. There's no such thing as insider information. So if you can get somebody to talk, oh yeah, we're going to release this over here on this date and get some inside information, might be able to capitalize on it as well.
I think
Anyway,
Tom's building a bot for that already.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, maybe.
are you
Working
are
on
you
it. In progress.
are you a coder?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I've got ideas, but I'm not a coder. No.
Yeah, that's me, man. We got to get James to do it, but he can't ever get him to do anything. So, all right. Hey, Tom, it's good to meet you, brother. James, thanks for coming on board. We'll
Yeah.
get Mark Z on here next time. Maybe get Tyler on here as well. Get us all on here. Spread the word. There's a replay link that'll come out to you automatically. Unfortunately, the replay, if you get it right off the bat, I have to go back in there and download the YouTube video and upload it. Otherwise, it gives you this replica replay where it replays it. You can't fast forward or back up. If browser crashes, you got to start over. It's stupid. So if you guys get that, don't worry about it. I'll re-upload it to and give you a player that you can control that. Anyway, that link to this, even though if you see this link like in Slack, let people know that they can still click that link and get the replay link, even if it's after we got to get more people in here. The more people we get in here, the more juice we can create, and we'll make something out of it. I mean, we're going to turn stuff. Well, I want to turn it into something. I'd like to see us developing ideas and some wisdom and learning from each other, so it actually makes us better traders. So, any last words, guys, before we call it quits?
Let's hope Bitcoin goes bull.
To the Lambo, to the moon. Confucius. All right, guys, we're done.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Bye-bye.